If I had $1 for every time someone had walked down this little road to go and sit in these old pine trees that were here, I'd be a much richer man today than I am. These were my grandfather's pines. He called them the pine saplings. I suppose he named them that when he first planted the trees many, many years ago. But the name stuck, and that's what we called them for as long as I can remember. And that's been for a long time. They were here way before I was born, and I'm not a young man anymore. And even though the ground is poor, and it kept them from becoming thick through and through, they grew tall and reached up into the blue sky. Old people would come, have their pictures made. Young kids would come and play. We'd make straw tents and we'd have picnics and just sit sometimes and listen to the wind rustle through the needles in the tall branches overhead. Once I even fell asleep here, and I awoke to my grandfather's old hound dog looking down at me and my grandmother and my aunt crying, so glad they'd found me at last. And I couldn't understand that because it had just been so peaceful in these pines that I fell asleep. It seems nothing could destroy them. Nature, lightning, heat of summer, the snows of winter. It seemed they would always be there. Even the fires that came in the summer of 2011 only scorched them, and the green came back through the tops, and for a while I thought they'd be here for a long time to come. And then the bugs came, the dreaded pine needles of the southeast. And they seemed to know that the pine trees had been under a lot of stress. How, I don't know. Well, they started chewing and gnawing at the bark. You could even stand there on a quiet day and hear them munching throughout all the pines. And it didn't take long to know that the pine trees were going to have to be cut. So there was nothing left to do but to call in the loggers and let them start doing their work. One by one, the trees fell, and with each tree that hit the ground, it seemed that another memory from my childhood had died. It wasn't easy to watch as the men in machinery did their work, taking what was once so beautiful and turning it into nothing but a wasteland. One by one, the trucks would be loaded. They would leave carrying with them more and more of my papa's pines. And with each load that left, another part of my youth went with it, it seemed, until there was nothing left at all. It isn't easy to look now at where my grandfather's pine saplings once stood. And it isn't easy to remember the days and the times that we spent playing underneath those branches. With age and with time, everything changes. Nothing can remain the same as much as we'd like it to. So now my papa's pine saplings are nothing but a thing of the past. One more memory that I can store in my bank of precious memories that will always last. And even though the ground is bare and there's nothing there anymore to sit under or no breeze to rustle through the branches, that was so nice to hear. I'll always hold my grandfather's pine saplings so dear, and they'll always be a precious part of my life. And I'll never forget the times that I spent there in Papa's pines.